part of the day for 10th grades. Are you ready for English lesson? Today we have last lesson, consolidation. Today we have to revise all your textbook, the interesting parts of course. Your first unit was about our motherland, Uzbekistan, my country, my pride. You learned top 8 interesting facts about Uzbekistan. Let's revise it one more time. The first, Uzbekistan is one of only 2 doubly landlocked countries in the world. The other one is Liechtenstein. A doubly landlocked country is one that is landlocked by other landlocked countries. And the second interesting fact, Uzbekistan's Murantan gold mine is one of the largest open-pit gold mine in the world. And the third one, Tashkent's underground features chandeliers, marble pillars and ceilings, engraved metal. It has been called one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. Let's move to the second part. The first interesting fact, each of the Tashkent Metro's 3 stations has its own design and unique theme. The fifth one, in Uzbekistan, handshakes are only accepted if it is between 2 men, not women. And the sixth one, the way to greet an Uzbek woman is by bowing to her with your right hand placed over your heart. And seventh one, it is Uzbek tradition that the most respected guest be seated farthest from the house's entrance, as you know. And the last one, the Uzbeks believe that turning bread upside down will bring you bad luck. And your next unit about speciality. You learned about speciality and job interview and etc. Here you can see the 4 words which you have to know. You learned their definition with your teacher. Now try to remember what kind of definitions did you learn for these words. CV, employer, employee. There is differences between 2 words, employer, employee, interviewer, interviewee. Now I give you 15 seconds. Please try to remember the words, their definitions of course. Thank you. I hope you all remembered. Let's check. What is CV? It is a summary of education and employment experience. What about employer? And what is the differences between 2 words, employer and employee? Employer is a person or company which pays for a person to work. What about employee? Good. A person who works for a company or another person. It is employer, a person or company which pays for a person, for a worker, and employee is a person who works for this company. What about interviewer and interviewee? A person who asks the questions during interview. This is interviewer. And the next one, interview, is a person who answers the questions during the interview. Let's move to the next one. It is the most interesting part of your textbook, and I like this picture much. Why? Because it describes very important thing. If you see any successful people in the world, you see just this one. This is the iceberg illusion. You see just this part of his success, but the hard work is behind it, behind this success. It means if you want to get success, you have to work hard and try to do your best and try to show up yourself in every step of your life. Please don't forget this picture and try hard. And the next, this is also a quote. Let's read. If you want to know your past, look into your present condition. What does it mean? It means You worked in the past for your today's condition. You worked, you acted that for your today's condition. If you worked harder, you may be in a better condition than now. If you want to know your future, look into your present action. What does it mean? If you want a bright future, you have to work harder day by day. So the next one, time management. In this book, during your school year, you discussed about time management and time budget. It is very important thing. What is it? A time budget is a log or diary of the sequence and duration of activities engaged in by an individual over a specified period, most typically the 24-hour day. It means a day. Two rules for this one. The first is your budget has to include your have-tos and your want-tos. What does it mean? In your day, you have to include what do you have to do or what do you want to do. Not or and, of course. You have to complete your days for two these things. Your duties and your wishes or the activities which you want to do. You have to manage your time correctly. And the second rule, your budget has to add up to exactly 24 hours, one day. Your job is to balance your time budget. Please try to work on your time management and balance your day correctly. The next, team building. For this one, I want to remind you one interesting story from your textbook. Let's read it, then we will discuss the moral. Are you ready? Pay attention to the screen. It is a text about hedgehogs. It was the coldest winter ever. Many animals died because of the cold. The hedgehogs, realizing the situation, decided to group together to keep warm. This way they cowered and protected themselves. But the quills of each one wounded their closest companions. After a while, they decided to distance themselves one from other, and they began to die, alone and frozen. So they had to make a choice, either accept the quills of their companions or disappear from Earth. Wisely, they decided to go back to being together. They learned to live with the little wounds caused by the close relationship with their companions in order to receive the heat that came from the others. This way they were able to survive. What is the moral? Here you can read. The best relationship is not the one that brings together perfect people, but when each individual learns to live with the others and can admire the other person's good qualities. What does it mean? You are teams and you work in a team, you study in a team, and you live in a team. For example, your family is your life team. Here, you have to work together. You have to live friendly and respect each other. I hope you remember this story all your life and try to build good team and live together friendly. The next, and you know we discussed a lot about literature and Uzbek literature, world literature, and etc. What is literature? It is very important thing because reading is very important. Reading can improve your every skill in your life. But yes, you have to choose the right book to read. Here is a quote. If the literature we are reading does not wake us, it means if you don't choose right book, why then do we read it? Literary works must be an ice axe to break the sea frozen inside us. In this time, you're reading your book, which you chose, affect your life, improve your every skills. And here, you can watch interesting video about story writing in English. Why? Because the very interesting summer holiday is waiting for you, and you will have a lot of free time, I hope. In this time, you may practice your English by what? By reading books and speaking, chatting with your friends, and of course, it's the best thing to write short stories in English. Now, let's watch, then we will continue our lesson.
The first element we're going to talk about are the characters. The characters are who or what the story is about. The next element is the setting. The setting is where, like in a store, and when, like on your birthday, a story takes place. The next element are the major events or plot of the story. Generally, things start out okay, but then the character has to overcome some challenge before life returns to normal or almost normal. When we put all of these things together, we create a story. We pick a character, put him in a setting, and give him a challenge or obstacle to overcome. Here is a story about Ollie. Ollie got a phone call from his friend Janessa. She is in the park and needs help. Ollie hurries to the park to help her.
Janessa, what's wrong?
Ollie, my cat is stuck in the tree and I can't get him down. What will I do?
I can climb the tree and get him down for you.
Well... Yay! Ollie, you saved my cat. Thank you.
It was nothing. Want to go get some ice cream?
Okay. Ollie and Janessa walked off to the ice cream parlor together. The end. Now let's talk about the elements in our story. Who were the characters in our story? Ollie and Janessa are the people who the story was about. What was the setting? The setting is the park because that is where most of the story took place. What were the major events? We should have a beginning, middle, and end. Start with the problem in the story. First, the cat was stuck in the tree. Then, Ollie got the cat down for Janessa. Last, they went to get ice cream together.
Okay, thank you, dears. I hope you liked our video. And this is a rule for short stories in English. Try to write short stories or comics and send it to your peers or teachers maybe. Believe in me, it improves your English, your writing, your reading as well. The next. Now, dears, I have a poem, but it is in translated version. Your task. Read it poem with me and try to guess what is it. It is from Uzbek literature. Are you ready? Let's read together. About modesty. Through the teapot is a proud, but it is always boast to cup. Thus way be such cocky bold, what for wanted harvest sharp. Be modest, simple, not to set foot in the step of pride no up. So the people kiss in a good from the forehead of the cup. Try to guess what poem is it and who is the writer, who is the author of this poem. Garchi shuncha mag'rur tursa ham piyolaga egilar choynak. Shunday ekan manmanlik nechun, kibru havo nimaga kerak? Kamtar bo'l, hatto bir qadam o'tma g'urur ostonasidan. Piyolani inson shuning uchun o'par doim peshonasidan. This poem was written by Erkin Wahidov and describes Uzbek people modesty, humanity, and of course honest heart. I hope you all liked the translation, and in summer, try to translate Uzbek short poems into English. It is also a way to improve your English. And at the end of my lesson, I want to give a quote. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching us. And don't forget about this one, and never stop learning. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you restful summer holidays. Goodbye.